Yo, welcome back to my YouTube channel, The International Medic. So in today's video, we're going to be doing something different for the first time on this YouTube channel. So first and foremost, I'm sure most of you out there are probably preparing for your A-level results to come out. And I'm sure you probably thought of your backup options as to what will happen in case you don't meet your A-level results. Every medical school or every school out there will try and make sure that you do that, you have a backup option. So one of the most popular backup options out there is the biomedical science route to medicine route. So in today's video, I'll be talking with my friend Hawa, where we're going to be talking about this route, and we'll be going into detail about how the advantages and disadvantages, and because this route isn't as easy as it seems. It's not as easy as most people think, right? So first and foremost, tell me about yourself, Hawa. What's your name and what you just recently studied, and also where you studied.
Hi, my name is Hawa Haikimi Mohammed, and I'm a recent biomedical science graduate, now a medic. I studied at St. George's University of London.
Yeah.
Yes, so my biomedical degree at St. George's was quite intense. Reason being that the first year and second year of biomed and medicine at St. George's University are quite similar. So you do the same content, but biomeds go to labs and then medics go to the hospital. It used to be together, but now you have different classes and lectures. Yes, I would say it was quite intense because everyone that is doing biomed at St. George's wants to eventually be a medic. I would say 95% of the people in the course want to become medics. So there's a situation where it makes everyone work really hard because everyone's trying to get the best grade possible. Also, there used to be a transfer route at St. George's, which used to be that you would do your first 2 years of biomed at St. George's University. If you get a grade of 66% average for the first and second year, you then get an interview, and if you pass the interview, you'll be able to go into third year of medicine after you graduate from biomed. So that used to make the course very intense and competitive because everyone's trying to get ahead of one another, I would say.
Yeah, but then doesn't that make it more competitive or harder for people that just want to go there to study biomedicine on its own, not to do medicine at all? How do they feel?
In my 4 years at St. George's, I only met one person that wanted to actually do biomed for biomed, and they wanted to do genomics, which was the pathway they chose at the end. So you can understand that nobody goes to St. George's to study biomed. Literally, everyone goes to St. George's to study biomed and try to get the transfer to get into medicine. That is the selling point for biomed at St. George's. Another thing is that St. George's University biomed isn't accredited, so you can't finish and then work in the NHS without doing a specific course or something like that. So if you want to go to St. George's to study biomed, it's probably not the best place for you to go. But speaking of that, you asked also, I think, if there was enough support.
Yeah, but before we get to the support, how's the interview process? Because I'm sure some of them are wondering how intense that interview process to go from biomed to medicine at St. George's is. Because some of them might just think, oh, it's just like an interview. It's a normal, typical MMI. I remember practicing it with you, fam. I'm telling you that stuff. We spent 40 days and 40 nights. Even Jesus be proud of me. I'm telling you. So let them know, because they need to know.
Yes. So the interview process for going for the transfer, it's very intense. Reason being that usually it used to be about 80 people would get the grade and 20 people would get the space. So it was 1 in 4. But during my year, because there was COVID in my year, and the year after, grades inflated. So it became about 150 people or even more got the interview for 20 spaces. So it was a competition of 1 in 8. Usually in medicine, you compete with 1 in 8 people, but up to the point of interview is maybe 1 in 2 or 1 in 3.
Oh yeah.
Because people, I get
dropouts.
UCAS scores and personal statements makes
people drop out.
Yeah, makes less competition.
Yeah.
So in St. George's there wasn't that. And the transfer, they mark it very strictly the interview, because everyone already has gone low-key. If you think of it, most people go to St. George's because they want to do medicine, and it's usually a backup. So everyone that is in St. George's usually at some point has gone through some sort of interview practice, or like interview prep to go to med school. And because you've now had like 2 years of biomed experience, they ask you for work experience, which is very important to them. I can remember for my interview, I had so much work experience. I had done like a placement here, I had done like research, I went to like Nigeria to do like
charity work.
Yeah, apart from charity work, I also did like an internship in a hospital. I was contacting doctors. I contacted about like 100 doctors to help me to allow me shadow them, and I only got like 2 replies. Okay,
wait, before you keep on going, of course there's still more like work experience you did, right?
Yeah.
So the work experience you listed, even though it's not fully enough, was all of that enough for you to get the interview into medicine?
For me, I don't know if it was enough, because for my turn, international students weren't allowed anymore.
Oh.
Yes, so I wouldn't know if it was because of
international, you being an international student,
or because like my
your work experience or interview wasn't good enough. Right. Okay, sorry, before we continue, just because a lot of my viewers are international students, because I'm an international student and my channel, I'm the international medic, as you might know. So basically, for international students, this is one of the things we struggle with applying to medicine. The chances we get is very limited. So when we apply, we have to be the best of the best. And in St. George's is no, even though in general it's tough for home students, for international students it's way tougher, and in some cases we don't even have the opportunity to go.
Well, now it's known that international students can apply anymore. It's just for home students. I only know, but regardless, even though they didn't make it a rule, it was like an unspoken rule. There was
kind of like between the whole set.
They knew like international students couldn't get in, but they would tell you can apply.
So you can apply, but
you can apply, but you're not gonna.
Everyone can apply, but
even before I applied, a lot of people like already told me. Even the international student visa help told me. Yes, she was like,
the staff members told you.
The staff members was like, they don't give international students. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But officially on the website, they take everybody.
Well, they didn't write it until last year. Now it's written.
Okay, so it's until after you apply. That's when
it's written that it's for home students. So like, there's that, and there's also this channel is for international students. But
like it's for everybody, but many international students.
So basically, what happened at St. George's in the first year, what they did was they gave like people a whole day to record their interview of 45 minutes, and you can record as much times as you want, then you upload it. So of course that allowed people to cheat, firstly. Then the second year of COVID, what they did was you can only record once and upload it once, but then you had 4 days to do it. The thing with St. George's is that they repeat almost all their questions. They repeat almost all their interview questions. So for me personally, I had the interview questions for the past 10 years. And I practiced every single one. Exactly for the past 10 years. Their questions are very like similar, I would say.
Let's just go to the other question, which is one of the main things. The one thing why people are like choosing this route is first thing first is that we don't really have that much options, especially if you're an international student. But for those that don't have the option to do something else or go directly into medicine or take a gap year and still get into medicine, that's probably better, because biomed in itself is not easy.
I think so.
I'm also a biomed degree graduate, but just tell me your experience from biomed degree, like dissertations, courseworks, all of that at St. George's.
In St. George's, I didn't really have a lot of coursework, so I think I had like one every semester. But the exams were tough. The exams were very tough. Mostly because I think maybe they thought we were medics or something. But
they're like, you're
like, medics. You want to be a doctor, so
we'll give you doctor exam. Exactly. Start your OSCEs from year 1.
Yeah, literally. So the exams were tough. I wouldn't recommend somebody doing biomed if they had any other option. I would say you should do biomed if you didn't get your grades. But if you're in a situation where like you have the grades for medicine, then I would say you should take a gap year and apply again. But the problem is, I've known two people that did that, and they also didn't get the medicine place, regardless, and they still had to do biomed to get into medicine. So you can say do that, but doing that doesn't guarantee you a place.
Yeah, not in this medicine. Going into medicine in these countries, nothing guarantees you a place.
It's luck.
Like
God.
there's a luck.
But it's never luck. It's God.
God, honestly, because you know my story. If you're on my channel, you know my story.
It's really good.
It's really good, honestly. But like, let's just keep on going. So yeah, you mentioned coursework is not. You don't really do that much coursework like that.
But that was I enjoyed this for you. For example, in Kingston, you had a lot of
fun. I'm telling you, coursework day in day out, project day in day out. I'm telling you, but like for me, the one thing that helps with the fact is that courseworks were a lot. So what I did is that I had to make sure that my courseworks were good, so that by the time it comes to exam period, I know that okay, at least I've done this one in my coursework. So when it's time for exam, even though I don't do that well, my coursework will help me push my grade a little bit higher, or I don't drop that low. My grades don't drop that low. Then in the case where I do really well in courseworks and really well in exams, boom, that's a banger. That's first class like that, straight up. In any degree out there, as a uni student, if you might notice that some people come in, they're smart from A levels, they're smart, getting A stars, but when they come uni, they just like everything, the grades just change and all of that.
Uni is about constant work.
It's
not really about you being smart.
Honestly,
because at the end of the day, no matter how smart you are, you can't really cram 9 months worth of content in 1 month. Can you? Well, you
except
might.
those genius level people, like, because there are some brothers and sisters out there that what they do is like, sorry, our cameraman is just
the cameraman is one of them.
He's one of them. He does his soul. Let him catch his soul. But anyway, it's like those brothers out there that can cram literally 10 years worth of knowledge overnight. Like for you, uni might be a breeze, but for us normal people, trying to find our way in this life of uni, it's not that easy. Like, that's what I was trying to say is that the reason why courseworks really helped me was that since the courseworks were every like couple of weeks or so, I had to make sure that I was consistent. I couldn't like drop down and be like, oh, this coursework, I'm just gonna play around, I'm just gonna do this and do this and do this and that. Another thing as well is that most people say, oh, first year just come in and play. That's a myth to me, because it's like, except you're proper smart, you're proper smart, then obviously you can play around your first year, go second year, and you still get like first class. But from what I've heard really is that when you get to your first year, you don't need to go hard like that, but you need to be able to develop that discipline to study day in day out, even without anybody chasing you.
Yes, I think that's very important. The discipline is very important, but in terms of like waiting, for example, in like St. George's, first year only will count for 10%. So technically, you can even fail your first year, but still get a first class if you work hard second year and third year. But the thing that I think is very important is knowing what study method works for you. Exactly. And you can only know that in first year, because that's time that you have to play around.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you need to develop the right attitude for uni in first year. But what most people do is that you take first year and just play around. Yeah. But then they don't develop the right abilities or right techniques to actually do really well in uni, and they leave that to second year, where second year is when it really counts. That's not when you should start learning.
Yes. So for me, I would say I even did the opposite. I worked really hard in first year and second year. Then third year I played, and it paid off.
Really?
Yeah, I would say it paid off because I passed and I'm a graduate, so it worked. But in first year, I would say that what happened, I tried different techniques. Like, for example, first year and even second year, I knew that flashcards were not the way for me to study. Like, I tried to use flashcards for my third semester exam, and that was the worst exam of my life. But then in first year I studied with my friends, and then what I just do is my whole course content, like from the beginning to the end, I write questions and answers in one big Word document, and I just cram that Word document throughout like the year, and that works for me. Yeah. But flashcards don't work because they don't really have an order. Like, I'm a person that needs like logical
order to
study. Like, I need to do lecture after the order, not like randomly. It wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Fair enough. It's like, sorry to interrupt you, but it's like, while I was mentioning all of these tips and techniques, sorry that we've gone off on a tangent, but it's to help you know that biomedicine is not easy. You need to put the hard work in, because things that if you get into biomedicine and you put in the hard work and everything, then you're like start thinking, okay, if biomedicine is meant to be easier than medicine, and it's making me work this hard, then what am I going to expect in medicine? Things that they are very different and they require different ways to handle the certain degrees. Like if you're in biomedicine, you need different techniques than if you're in medicine.
And it also depends. I would say it plays like different people's strengths. For example, as you said, St. George, the way we did like our test in St. George's was the opposite of Kingston.
Yeah.
So for us, it wasn't even coursework, it was labs throughout the year, and it consisted of 20% of your whole module. Your exam was 80%. So if you were bad at exams and good at labs or like courseworks, then it's not at your advantage. Also in your exam, the long answer question was like 30% of the whole exam. So for someone like me who's very bad at essays, when I say I'm bad at essays, I mean I'm
you're preaching to completion.
Like I don't really know I don't know body conclusion. It doesn't make sense to me. To me, I wrote what you said I should write. I don't really understand what the problem is. But I'm very bad at essays. So what I used to do in St. George's, literally in my exams, was immediately I entered the hall, I already know, okay, I failed this to 30% of this essay. This 70% that I need to get from this multiple choice, I'm going to get as much as I can. And that's how I passed like throughout.
To be fair, it's all about strategy. That's one thing. It's like being a student is basically finding the least amount of work you would have to do in order to survive.
Yeah, to survive.
And that's like most of it in real world sometimes as well. But yeah, like in Kingston, it was more for me. It was more like we had courses, we had labs, we had final exams. Some labs will carry, depending on the module, some labs will carry really high marks, and some modules, the final exams will carry lots of high marks.
But in general, I wouldn't say. I would say if you want to do medicine, you don't have to do biomed as your first degree. If you have to do another degree.
I think there are other degrees out there.
Yeah, right? You can do dietetics, you can do food and nutrition, you can study. I know someone that studied English for her first degree.
Yeah.
Can't remember if she came to CATS.
And it's like.
And she studied English for her first degree, came back, decided she wanted to become a doctor, and ended up in Cambridge, but she's a home student, so.
Even the home students, international students, still have to get into Cambridge for medicine, regardless.
I know.
So, but anyway, it's like you say, even some unis, even abroad now, it's like you don't really need to do a science subject, a science degree. As long as you have a postgraduate degree and you have some like science background in terms of like your A level or something.
You only need chemistry or
biology. At least in terms of your GCSE or somewhere in your life, you should have done some science subject. And then what might happen is that you might have to take something like what's the GAMSAT or something, or the type of type of entrance exam you take might have to vary. But anyway, that's on the side. Like at the end of the day, even though my dissertation was good, because I maintained like a first class grade from year 1 to 3, I think it really helped me in my final grade. Because like I was really happy that she ended up with the first. So like that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, not to boast, but what I'm trying to say is that consistency will work more than actual being smart in uni. That's what
it's for everything.
For everything, honestly. Even this YouTube thing,
Yeah. For me, I don't know how I ended up in medicine. I think it's honestly luck, because even initially, I didn't even apply to medicine. I didn't want to apply to medicine. Well, I wanted to apply to medicine, I gave up. I changed my mind like 6 times. You know
when did you give up? When did you say that this is not medicine not for me anymore? When? What was it at A level?
Yes, A levels. You know how there's a deadline to apply for medicine October 15th? I didn't apply. I applied October 20th and I got a place. Like I applied to medicine by accident. By the time my plan was to apply to like pharmacy, my UCAS application was so bad. I applied to biomed, medicine and pharmacy. You know, we have 5 places. Those were my options: biomed, pharmacy and medicine. And I wrote my personal statement was for dentistry. But so the reason why I chose biomed, like everyone, St. George's, was because they had a transfer route, and St. George's was like a safe option. Just do the transfer route in case you don't get into medicine. Well, it's not just, but compared to other units that didn't have like the option,
fair enough.
Do the transfer route. But now looking back at it, honestly, maybe I would have studied music or something. Like I'm going to do something so unserious like business or something, because I feel like for science people like biomeds and stuff, we work so hard. It depends. For me, I think it really helped with my application because it just shows that as if you took time off to go and it depends on how you manipulate what you did, I would say, because for me,
how you present it.
Yeah, I did a mixture of like piloting a peer assisted learning program, which even though I didn't teach, I could say I taught first year students, even though all I did was like facilitate. And I also did like a little bit of like tech, the background work of tech on Canvas. So it kind of like gave me experience of, do I want to do, like experience that I could use in medicine and experience that I could use if I didn't want to do medicine.
Oh, so you can give an idea of what life outside medicine could be like if you wanted to go for it. So it kind of made you know, like, okay, I've tried this and I know I don't want to this.
Yes.
You get,
And before I did my placement here, I just personally, I was actually really thinking if I wanted to do medicine or not, like, because so that's even the reason why I took the placement here. And I decided to do like a non-medical based placement here. For example, I know like my friends did like lab work, someone that I knew worked on like research in GSK and stuff like that. But for me, I wanted like as far as possible from medicine as possible. So my placement here and it was during pandemic. So the most thing I would say I got from it was the enjoyment of working from home. And also it gave me experience to talk about in my interview for transfer and also my interview of other medical schools that I did. So yeah, I would say it's useful. If it's actually more useful if you are trying to seek your other options. If you know from the beginning of going to med school, from going to biomed, that you want to do medicine, then I don't really think it's useful to you. What might be more useful is to be getting work experience from first year. But someone like me that
you're not too sure whether you want to do medicine or not, you want to see what life could be, what your options are basically
without medicine.
Yeah, then the placement here might help you find those answers.
And I think it's just it's good for you if you know if you want to try employment outside of medicine after you graduate.
Right, so don't mention employment after you graduate, because me, I graduated last year and you know, because I was meant to go into Brunel 2021, but due to like COVID and different things, we got postponed. So I was forced to take a gap year. I'm telling you, applying, even though my biomedical science degree was accredited, because one at Kingston is accredited, unlike St. George's, but it's like finding a job after you graduate is not easy. I'm telling you, at that point in time I was hoping to go back into university. I'm telling you, because it's like uni, you know, all you have to do is homework, coursework, test, exams, but outside in the real world you're just freelancing everything.
But that's another thing that I think medicine and biomed doesn't give us, because compared to my mates, I said during my placement here I did a lot of networking. I started speaking to people that wanted to study like finance or like computer science, or people that study computer science in their uni, and from first year they are taught how to get employed, not just how to go to medicine.
So
they go for networking events, they do internships, they do graduate schemes after, they are giving like interview practice. So what it is like for us, because as I said, most people that do biomed in St. George's want to go into medicine, they don't really have to coach you, because if you're a doctor you get a job regardless. So that's one thing that we lacked. But if I think if we did other courses, for example, like investment people that want to do investment banking,
software engineering,
from first year immediately going to university, they start going for like events and like conferences and stuff. And that's one thing that I was able to do during my placement here. Like go for like conferences, like meet
networking,
a lot of networking.
So it's like really even if medicine was not an option, already have something there to help you out. And it's like I think that's what I was going to say. Is like, if you don't want to go into medicine, if you're just doing biomedical sciences to get into biomedical sciences, to be a scientist, I'll say either you do more masters or PhD to get like to get the higher qualifications to get it to be a proper scientist, or either you do that, or I would suggest you do a placement year, because I think a placement year, like you mentioned so many benefits of the placement year. I think if you do a placement year, it will really help you, because just having a biomedical degree alone, the 3 years you spend alone with that biomedical degree, you might not even end up using that degree. It should not be a piece of paper.
Yes, I was about to say again, it depends. Like for me, I knew if I didn't want to be a doctor, I knew if I'm not working as a doctor, I'm not working in a hospital. That's one thing that I knew, like from the beginning, get-go. So if you, for example, if you're someone that actually wants to be a biomedical scientist, like work in a lab and like see all like the hematology stuff and
the
whatever,
details.
the details, somewhere like St. George's is not for you. You should go to a university that will actually teach you like the lab, like give you the lab experience. For example, like my auntie, I think she did like East London. No, I think she did University of East London. So their biomedical science is actually a proper biomedical science.
Yeah, like even for me as well, Kingston, like they helped with scheme. They also invited people out. They helped with scheme. They brought people for talks and stuff like that. So like you said, if your university that does biomedicine isn't really a step up, isn't like a route to medicine, they will mainly take your biomedical degree as a biomedical degree.
Yes.
So yeah,
I honestly, now that I finished biomedical science, I don't know what biomedical scientists do, and it's not even, like I have no idea. Like if people tell me this thing, the only thing I know is biomedical science helps with your point system when you're getting into like medicine.
Apparently, you told me
it
that
used to, but I think from next year they stopped it.
You know what? We're gonna get the actual facts and put it somewhere on the screen and let you know.
But so I knew a lot of people, like my friends that were medics used to intercalate to do biomedical science so that they will get like that point system. Even me, that's the reason why I was like, okay, let me just do biomedical science. So it shows like you have something on your CV, like the point system. Knowing what I know now, in the beginning, from if I knew from A levels that I wanted to either go for medicine or not do medicine at all, I would literally do something. I'll do software engineering. With biomedical science, it is the first 2 years of medicine or first 3 years of medicine. So your content is actually the same. So it's interesting. It will be interesting to you if you want to be a doctor.
Fair enough.
But you would hate the lab stuff.
Fair enough. Because it's so similar. It's kind of I get what you're saying. Because it's so similar. It's kind of like you're actually doing medicine.
Yeah, but it depends on the uni. So St. George's makes it like that. So I don't know if you go somewhere that is just biomedical science focused, it will probably be more lab based, more project, more research. So I don't know if that would be
fair enough. If it was St. George's, then I understand. But like for I think for typical like biomedical degrees, it's like where in like instead of Kingston, you don't have the option of going into medicine. So if you're doing biomedical sciences, there is to do biomedical sciences. So that kind of situation, even the staff members, they don't have it at the back of their head that I'm just helping you do this to get into medicine. Except like obviously there are some few people like myself that might say, I want to do this to get into medicine.
Oh yeah, so you had the opposite of what I had.
Exactly. So it's like this is good. This is one of the reasons why I said let me have this podcast with you, because it's like we've both done biomedical sciences and we've both got into medicine at the same uni, but we've had two separate experiences, even as international students. So it's like it gives the people out there a perspective that most people haven't received or most people don't show on YouTube. You get.
And I think biomedical science is just the route that everyone knows. It's like, oh, you have like you have 4 options for medicine, right? Just choose biomedical science for the next one. But if you really do your research, it shouldn't be biomedical science that you should choose as your safety option, except you are really interested in doing like the medicine content before you start. But if you know that you're gonna get into medicine at the end of the day, just actually do something you like. Well, I'm saying this because me personally, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know what
because it's like like there are enough people out there that have been like, right, this biomedical science thing, they told me it was easy, but like it's not. Like I'm suffering by that. It's called torment. They are just being tormented and
it's so difficult.
And it's like, this is the whole point of this podcast anyway. So yeah, it's just to give that different perspective in it. So let's go to the next question. Next question is, what do you think about the journey from biomed to medicine? Is it worth it? Is it easy as advertised? Like we've talked about this little here, but like this is the main topic, so let's just go straight into it. The first question, let's answer it directly. The first answer that comes to your head on the question.
Well, for me, I'll say it's worth it because I didn't get my A-level grades that I was going to get. But if I got my A-level grades, then it would have been worth it. Do you get what I mean? Because there's no way I would have gone to medicine without doing biomedical science because I didn't make the A-level grades. But not biomedical science, any degree. But if I did, I would have a different perspective. And I really enjoyed my uni experience. I made friends. I loved it. So I would say yes, it was worth it.
Yeah, friend, like for me, definitely was worth it. Like apart from the reasons you mentioned, one of that reason is that the fact that when you go through an undergraduate degree before going to medicine, you kind of mature in a certain way that prepares you mentally, physically, and everything, like emotionally, for actually studying medicine. Just to let you know that if you're going through the biomedical route or even another undergraduate degree, the one positive you can get is that you're more mature and you're more prepared to study medicine. Because I can't imagine how it would have been like if I just started studying medicine from when I was 18. The kind of things I would have learned now, I don't know if I'll be able to have learned it, or if I would have sustained the pressure of medicine. Because it might be one of the reasons why people drop out of medicine, like the first or second year.
For me, I would say what my biomedical science degree did for me was, even though I went to a school that everyone wanted to medicine, it gave me a whole life outside of medicine. I think there's this like thing with people that want to study medicine, it's your identity.
Yeah.
Like it's you, people, the society makes you your identity. It's like, oh, without medicine you're nobody. But you have to remember, like, for you to even be a medic, you have to be super smart, and you'll be, because you're super smart, and like you need a lot of like extracurricular activities, like you'll be able to really learn anything that you want. So I think people always forget that, but there's no harm in like starting from scratch, and there's no harm in like learning anything. For example, like even Ali Abdel said, oh, he wanted to do tech before like going to, it was either tech or medicine, and he finished and he didn't even use his degree. Like there's this stigma with to people that either do medicine or want to get medicine, like your whole life comes crashing down if you don't get it. But you can't put that much pressure on yourself, because
it's like, I get what you mean. It's like even earlier when he was when he said that he's not doing medicine anymore, he was like, identity. He's like, oh, this is my identity. Like, I don't know if people will still subscribe to my channel since I'm no longer a medical YouTuber. Like people like us that have been watching him from like year one from biomed, it's like, oh, do we just stop watching him? And like, is that, like you said, is that stigma that if you're not doing medicine, if you're not being a doctor, if the 5 years you spent working your ass off is not being used, then who are you? What are you now? So,
you really have that. What are you? And another thing, I think for biomed, it makes you make sure you want to actually be a doctor. Like, do you really want to be a doctor, or is it because it was your 6-year-old dream that your parents forced you to do at 18?
The funny thing that you speak about parents and like, sorry, just do this. You speak about parents and stuff like that. It's more like, my therapist was talking to me and she was like asking me like, when our parents push us, like they push us, like African parents, Nigerian parents, they push us.
African and Asian.
Strict parents. Let's start with that. It's more generalized. So it's like they push us and like, oh, do this. You have to do medicine. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to do that. And it's like, oh, wow. They're pressuring us and pushing us. In their own mindset, they're like, I'm doing what's best for you, what I think is best for you. For us, it's like, I'm at this point in time, I'm not even sure if I'm doing. She asked me basically, the medicine that you're doing, are you doing it because you want to do it, or is as a result of your dad pushing you and your family pushing you to do that? And I started thinking like, I wanted to do it. Then she was like, okay, Fred, if you wanted to do it, do you think that if your parents didn't push you like that, you would have done it at the end of the day? So it's like, and when they asked me that, like, if my parents were more calm and all of that, would I be kind of like an ambitious person to do medicine, or would I just not want to do that at all? Like, even because it's like you said, we both at one point in time wanted to give up to do medicine. We wanted to just go to something. After I failed my A levels, I was like, Daddy, I want to become a footballer. My dad said, he was Daddy, I want to be a footballer. I said, are you mad? I said 3 years, 3 years, smashing money. You want to go and kick ball? You're not Mbappe. Come on, he might slap you. So that kind of thing, it's like, when we say parents pushing us and everything, it definitely has negatives, a lot of deep-rooted negatives that I really hate. But at the same time, it's like, I ask myself this question: if they didn't do that, would I be the person I am today? Like the good parts about me, would that be there today? But that's just on the way. Sorry, I went on a different tangent. Sorry about that.
I mean, it's a different tangent, but I think it's important, and because I know a lot of my friends are doctors now, and I think about like 4 of them not dropped out, but 4 of them are not doing F1. Everyone wants to go and do what they want, because they started medicine at 18. Now they're 22, 21. They're done. Well, let me go and live my life. Like, I know a lot of people that have done that. And it's a situation, I know, for me, it's like 50-50. If my parents didn't push me, I would have given up. But at the same time, now that I'm here, it's not because they pushed me. It's also because I like it. Do you get what I mean? So it's like
50-50.
Yes, and there's a situation where even though African and Asian parents are strict and whatever, they have pressure and stuff, they do the most for their kids. They sacrifice their lives for their kids. And what your parents know as a kid you really can't know. Like there are a lot of things that makes them say like what
say
they
the things
say.
they
Exactly,
say.
say it. Even though our composition, our generation is very different, and now you have options and stuff and things that you can do. The reason why they push you so hard is because they love you and they want you to. They need you to do to.
I won't lie to you. Yeah, when I was younger, I just thought my parents didn't like me. I'm telling you, bro. See, because it's like every time, do your best. I'm like, I'm tired. My best is my best. Like,
I don't do my best. I have to do bare minimum.
Honestly, it's like I have to do bare minimum and still enjoy life. God brought me to this life to enjoy. I'm not to suffer. I'm not the strongest soldier out there. But it's like,
weak soldier.
Honestly, like I don't want problems. I want peace always.
Always.
But yeah, it's like, although it's a different tangent, but it's something that low-key a lot of people going to do medicine or all these higher degrees, they go through, especially international students, because it's like it's one thing that we all think about. Like most of our, if you go through, it's like stereotypical, but if you go to most international students that are doing medicine or something like that, law degree, all of that, their parents have a huge like say in what in that degree they do. Like apart from the money as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any opinion on that? Because, like, for instance, biomedicine is 3 years, but since you did a placement year, you did 4 years. So, and I'm going to do medicine for 5 years. Come on, like, let us know what's going on.
If I had an option, I wouldn't do it. Like, I think it is long, but it depends, as I said, on like the outcome of your A-level results. If you have your grades, you just know, oh, all I have to do is pass the interview and like do the extra curricular work, then I think you shouldn't do biomed. But if you didn't, then I think it's a good, it's good for you to do biomed.
Yeah, like it has its positives. Isn't it?
Yeah, it has positive. And personally, even though it's long, I don't really mind because
at the end of the day,
yeah, like I'm getting pocket money. Working is not really what I want to do.
You have to enjoy life.
Yeah, exactly. So technically, I think it's okay. But I can see from other people's perspectives, like if you have something to do after school, I can see why you want to finish education early and like. But me personally, I don't have any commitment, so I can go like do what I want to do.
So like when people come up to you and you tell them, "Oh, I'm doing medicine," and they say, "Oh, that's 5 years, like that's 9 years altogether, like isn't that a bit long?" Like blah blah blah. What's like your reaction? Like what do you say? But like how do you not defend per se, but how do you like justify the 9 years of studying?
To be honest, I get it, and I get it a lot because I'm a Hausa girl. Hausa people like Hausa girls get married early and like finish school early and stuff. So it's very strange for people, especially like from my family and stuff. Yeah. But I understand that they don't like live the life that I live, and like I mean, it, like the UK is not that strange. Yeah, it's normal. Like a lot of my friends are doing it, so that kind of makes me feel okay. And the way I respond is just that I don't really respond. I don't have anything to say.
just know that
yes, I'm in school for 5 more years. Oh my god, by then I've had 2 kids. It's true.
Yeah, like fair enough. It's like same as me. Like for me, it's even I even did less years than you because you did placement. You're doing like 9 years. I'm doing 8. But it's like at the end of the day, it's kind of, like you said. For some people, they just want to get out of uni because they have other things they want to do with their life and that kind of thing. And not to make it seem like us, we don't have anything planned for life and anything.
Do you?
It just, I guess we'll find out and see. Because it is that, see, how I look at it is that at the end of the day, 5 years from now, you're going to be, let's say I'm 23 now, 5 years from now, I'm going to be 28. So it's like, at the end of the day, regardless of whether I do medicine or not, in 5 years I'll be 28. So it's like, why not spend the 5 years I'm here doing what I enjoy or doing what I like to do? And it's like, even though it might take so long, because it's like, low-key, 5 years is not a lot if you think about it. Because when you start medicine proper, when you're going through this pressure and stress of fighting for your life every single day, it will go by real quick, and it's like, you won't even notice it like that. So for those of you out there like considering like the whole 5-year thing, like how long it might be, I think it comes down to like if you really enjoy what you're about to do, you get. And that goes back to the whole thing, like, are you doing medicine for yourself? Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about that, or does about it?
As you said, like, it doesn't matter the age. If you're going to be 28, even if you're going to be 45,
Yeah.
By the time you finish medicine, you'll be 45 anyways.
I swear there are
So
like
it
people...
doesn't really matter. And at any stage of your life, you can always decide to do something. Like people decide to do medicine after they've had kids. My auntie, for example, she's had her kids and she wants to do medicine. Is now she wants to do medicine. Like you can always start from anywhere. Age is literally nothing but a number.
Yeah, and it's like even by medicine right now, there are no people that are like around 25 or 26 that are about to start medicine now. And it's like even though they are doing medicine with people that are 18 or something like that, when you have that motivation to do something that you want to do, stuff like age, time, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day you're getting what you want.
Yeah, for yourself,
exactly. But yeah, so at the end of the day everybody's situation is different, so just your motivation and that. And now for like next question.
I would actually advise them before you apply for the biomed. I would advise them from the beginning of A levels. If you know you want to be a doctor, be serious about your life at 16. I wish I did it, like, because I was serious A levels, but at the same time I was like playing, like serious playing. But if you know you want to be a doctor, your time, A levels actually for just working and like studying. And regardless, some people work hard and they don't still make their grades and stuff.
You're preaching to your communication, because it's like for me, day in day out I was in the library. In fact, I was in the library more than the librarian, I'm telling you. And it's like even not even that, I'll go outside and still study, open book and be reading. And it's like
I'm not even sure A levels is a really true test of knowledge. Don't kill yourself for book.
To be fair, that's very true, because it's like I do, like from my A levels to biomedicine, I wish I did go outside to make more friends. I made friends, but it's like I wish like I did more to actually keep friends, like closer friends, because it's like when you're focusing so much on the degree or the goal at hand, you forget to live in the moment sometimes. It's more like, what, I want to get this goal, I want to get medicine, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then as you're doing that, your life slowly goes away, but you're not really enjoying the moment at the time.
I don't know, I used to think like that, but then I heard someone say, like last week or something, I saw something on Instagram that said something like, no one at your building stages, no one really has a life. Like now there's a life of like, on Instagram we see how everyone is supposed to have a balanced life, and you should live like basically spend your money and then have a balanced life kind of thing, and you don't have to, like, everyone that gets to a great stage like actually has to put in the work. So at some point you have to sacrifice everything, but once you've like
made the sacrifice,
and achieved your goal, then you can start relaxing, because at the end of the day you rather live with the regret of not making friends than you living with the regret of making friends and living your life and never achieving your goal.
It's because I've achieved part of my goal. That's why I can't say I can regret not making friends, to be fair. Like, I do get where you're coming from. Yeah, so that actually makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have anything else, I think that's just it for today. Like, those are all the questions we have.
Where's my food?
How I still rolling your camera?
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, it's okay. All right. Thank you. Please subscribe. Please like. If you like content like this, please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please follow Howard's channel. The link is going to be in the description below. So share the video out to people, friends, and all, so that everybody can learn from this. If you think this was helpful, please leave a comment down below. And thank you for watching.